Today we're here at the Quincy Tea Party. We brought a bus load here. We know there's going to be a huge event. The thing that's really nice about these tea parties is it's not necessarily Democrats, Republicans, or Independents. It's Americans. I haven't seen any swastikas yet, so things are looking pretty good. But this is an exciting day for Quincy. I think we're going to have a huge turnout, and the people that we brought, I know it's going to help turn them into warriors, basically, is what I'm calling it. It's a pretty exciting day for us. So, yeah, you know, Quincy, if the entire gerrymandered district was like Quincy, this race would already be over. I brought my group here today because I want to, there's about 50 of us, and I want to put that fire that's here in Quincy into the people that are working on our campaign. We've got several hundred volunteers in the Quad City area, but I think something like this coming from the area we're from in the Quad Cities, this will really help them out quite a bit.
Spread that wildfire.
You got it. Just keep this movement moving forward.
Definitely. Explain a little.
Sure. You know, I think first off, people need to understand I've got 13 years of union background, but I also understand that we can't. We have to make this mesh together. We have to work for the laborers, and we also have to keep the businesses in business, because if we put too much pressure on them, we're going to be everybody's going to be looking for work. So, you know, a lot of things that can happen is I own a small business myself, and I believe that the lower the taxes, the more I can expand, hire people, things like that. The higher the taxes go, especially during a recession like what we're in, things are just going to get worse. So I definitely believe in lower taxes. I think that's huge. No, you know, here's the thing. I have a house, and I have an R50 wall. Everything in my house is high efficiency. The problem that I have with cap and trade is the fact that it's the largest tax increase in American history. And, you know, everyone wants to save the environment and be good stewards. But the problem I have is that by the year 2100, this cap and trade tax, which is going to cost us trillions of dollars, is going to reduce the global climate by 0.4 of a degree. I've got a real serious problem with that. Yeah, you know, the 1,000-page plus, 1,018-page reform is what they call it, but I don't call it reform. You got to know the definition of reform, and it's to make better. It's not to tear down and insert some 10-pound. I printed this thing off, it weighs 10 pounds. But you know, the thing that the administration won't address is the fact that we need tort reform, and they touched on it a little bit, but it needs to be in the bill. I also believe that if Congress is so up on this, that they should also be included in that bill. They should be covered by this plan and not some high-end plan. They should also be in there. We also need to look at instead of having state lines, let insurance companies compete nationally rather than just state by state. You know, we've got also a big shortage of doctors that they're still not addressing. You know, the Republicans have 4 plans out there, but the Democrats will not allow those plans to come forward. That's the problem. They say we're the party of no, and that's not true. First off is we need to understand that the government can't run anything properly. Our latest flop was cash for clunkers, a $3 billion deal, and these guys can't even get that right. You know, and they're going to try to run a $1 trillion, and it's probably going to end up being a multi-trillion-dollar deal. So what happens is, like the public option, you know, the government's going to compete with these smaller companies. It can't happen because it's unfair. Number one is the government can go out and print more money, or they can raise our taxes more, which they'll probably do both the way it's looking. Well, back in the day, I used to play football in high school, and we used to travel to Quincy every other year. I went to Allman High School, but you know, to give you an example, this is such a beautiful town. My wife and I came up and we walked in the Dogwood Parade, and as we're walking, you know, I'm focusing on, you know, waving to people and shaking hands, and she's adoring the houses as we cruise down the road, and she says to me, she says, you know, this would be a really nice place to live. I'm like, oh Lord, I'm going to end up moving. So, you know, it's just, people are on fire here, and you know, I think that what we're seeing in Quincy, the flyover areas, what some folks on the east and west coast call us, is this is where it's happening. This is the grassroots. I see this as America. I mean, this is what we're all about right here in Quincy. You know, you have differences of opinions, but you have people that are really in here fighting hard for what they believe is enough taxes. Hey, stop. So, yeah, I think Quincy would be an awesome place to you know, raise a family, have a nice house. If we weren't established right now in the Kelowna-Geneseo area, my wife would probably be on the internet shopping houses. So, and I told her, I said, I got too much going on right now. But, you know, it's just the people here are friendly. You know, everywhere I've been, we had that town hall, and there were Democrats, Republicans, Independents in there, and it was just a nice, relaxed. There wasn't any shouting or, hey, you're wrong or anything like that. Everybody was working together as Americans, and that's the thing I like about Quincy. I see a lot of that going on, and it's just a nice place.
We had the flood, that was an example too. You know, everybody came.
Yeah, and the flood is a really good example, and thanks for that, because, you know, that right there, when people come together like that, you know, that's what America is all about, is all of us coming together, working hand in hand to help others out. You know, and so many times, you know, we've gotten away from that over the years, and that's the one thing I did notice when we were walking in that Dogwood Parade, is there's people on all the porches. It's the old way, the way it used to be when I was growing up. You know, people were out and you'd walk by, hey, and you knew your neighbor. You know, I get that feeling, the friendliness here when I'm in Quincy.
Very, very safe feel. Don't have to look over your shoulder.
Exactly, that's right, yeah.
Anything you'd like to add?
Just glad to be here, and I'm already getting chills. I'm fired up, but thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it. All right.
Excellent.